Yo, what's going on, guys? Nick Stahl here with my friend Ayesha.
Hey guys.
Hey. We're not up on a roof this time because the weather outside's super cold.
It's raining. It never rains here. I'm from Toronto, and literally, this is the first time. Maybe the second time.
Second time. We've been getting a lot, the past week or so. When was this when the fires were happening, right? Unbelievable. But yeah, so Ayesha came all the way from Canada to pursue her dream in the fitness industry, and we originally connected at Gold's Gym, and through training and social media, we linked up, talked about doing a podcast, and we became friends since, and we're super big into social media as well and how we can continue to grow and build our brands and
make money off Instagram.
Money off of Instagram and now YouTube. We got a few things with YouTube in the works, and I just wanted to pick her brain a little bit and give you guys a little more background on what she's about. So why don't you kind of explain what drove you to start bodybuilding in Canada, and then what led you here? Why did you make that initial move after graduating? Similar to what I did.
Yeah, I feel like everyone comes to LA to chase the dream, especially in the fitness community, and then we all end up at Gold's and then become friends, and we all have the same story.
Right.
But so I guess going back, I've always been into fitness my whole life. I love training. I got my personal training certification when I was 17 years old, and then I did precision nutrition. I know that's a popular nutrition cert. I did my group fitness. I did boot camp. I remember when I was in high school, I used to run boot camps in the park for free because I just loved training people, and, sharing my passion for fitness. And I started taking pictures of my meals and posting them on Instagram, and then from there it kind of just grew into me sharing my passion both in person with people, but then also online on Instagram when the platform wasn't as saturated. And then I would say when I went to university, I got exposed to other people who were just like me, who loved to weight train and were into bodybuilding. And that's actually when I got introduced to bodybuilding competitions. And in Canada, it's not as big as it is here. You guys have so many different leagues you can compete in.
Yeah, what is the league in Canada?
We have just the OPA, Ontario Physique Association, but it just changed to the CPA, Canadian Physique Association.
CPA is in America too, right? CPA.
I think they're both now. If you're in CPA, you can qualify for the United States. Okay. That just happened last year. Okay. And then I actually stopped competing, which I'll get into in the story. So it was kind of easy decision. I just competed in the OPA. So that whole first year of university, I started prepping for my first bodybuilding show. And then I was literally hooked. After I did one show, then I did the next show, and then I did the next show. And in Canada, it's regional shows, and then provincial, and then national. Okay. So I kind of kept going.
What was that one in the middle you said?
Regional, provincial, because we have provinces. So imagine you have states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you qualify, and then we also have a natural league and an open league. Okay. And I competed in both because it didn't really matter.
You were just trying to stick it to those girls in the juice.
Literally, you did it was just such a culture. You just wanted to keep competing.
Yeah, that was kind of like the NPC because I competed in open men's physique, and I was going against guys on gear, but I was just trying to show my audience, my friends, my family that you can do it naturally. And granted, I think I could have got my FBB Pro card naturally. I was 4 places shy from earning it. Wow. But I was just, I kind of transitioned into acting, and
that's I know, we, you're so close and you have that little, I had it was the same with me, but now with acting, but I had a little spark in another direction of what I wanted to pursue, and then I was I could have done nationals again the next year and tried. Yeah. You always get so close. And there's so many shows that you want to just keep going because you're just so cool. Yeah. Each time you're it's my year. But it's it's definitely my whole my many years competing, it was an amazing experience, and regardless of just winning a show or not winning, you cultivate so many daily practices and just discipline. Your level of discipline is on another level when you compete in bodybuilding, and I feel we all get that. How disciplined you need to be to do a bodybuilding show is on another level.
6-7 meals a day was crazy. Now I fast, and I sometimes only have one meal a day. I can't even imagine doing 7. What was I doing?
I know. And like everything's timed and like I don't know if it was like as bad for you, but like twice a day cardio, like getting close to a show, being like a female and trying to like lose stubborn fat. It was just like it's a whole new world, and I loved it when I was in it. But then when I left it to pursue the social media work that I'm doing now, I love that even more. And I feel like I guess like everything serves you right in the time that you're in the season of your life that you're in. But going back to my journey, so I competed all throughout university. Literally every year I did a show.
So how many shows did you do?
I think 5.
Wow.
I guess not that much, but like every year I did 1 show, and then I did 2 one year. And like through that it was great because I was sharing my journey on social media. I was sponsored by Dietary.
Oh, very cool.
I love their protein still.
Yeah, in like high school, Dietary, going into like freshman, sophomore year of college, they were my go-to. But I kind of got away from
ISO
that.
100.
I got away from that.
Now I don't have it, but I used to have it. I used to love all the supplements.
Yeah, like I remember this one, and you probably had it, but I stopped taking these supplements because like a lot of them had like aspartame fillers.
Cellucor was my jam.
Do you remember Synth6?
Yeah.
That one like tasted that tasted so good, but yeah, it's like loaded with aspartame and like sweeteners. It's like no wonder, but yeah, now I'm like into more natural. Shout out Vital
Aren't you
Proteins. Vital Proteins. Well, now I'm a vegetarian, but you know you can still have dairy products. They're byproducts of animals, so that's the main difference between vegetarian and being a vegan. I tried vegan diet for like a month, and don't get me wrong, like I felt great, but there were certain things like I'm half Italian. I love pasta. I love cheese. So the cheese was like really, really hard to give up. And
I feel like if you're gonna be a vegan though, Venice is the place to do it.
Oh yeah, there's so many super healthy places here to eat. I went to Sage Organics for the first time last week.
It's good.
Super good, super good. Do you have any? Well, I remember you had on your story the Butcher's Daughter. That's one of my favorites. And Creation.
Cafe Gratitude.
Cafe Gratitude has a pulled mushroom, like it's equivalent to a pulled pork sandwich, but it's pulled like shredded mushroom.
And their burger, their black bean burger.
Okay, and yeah, I mean, one thing like being vegetarian, it's like, well, what can I have that's barbecue? And I saw that, I was like, yes. And I saw this one place. I haven't been. Have you heard the vegan joint?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I want to go there and check that out next.
And there's another one, Gracias Madres. I've heard it's like the best place.
Yeah, I might have been there once.
I haven't been.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd remember that place.
I remember the name, but I don't know if I went or not. I might have went to the one in Hollywood, but like those places like Year One out in LA. LA's so big, it's like, was I there? I don't know. Yeah, but so you've been out here how many months now?
Basically since September, like last week of August, I came out here, and now it's December already. And I was here in July for like acting and modeling. Like I feel like a lot of people come to LA to pursue acting and modeling, and I did stuff in Toronto for modeling with different like sportswear brands and just different like print work. And I did some commercials, but it's a completely different game in LA. Obviously, you know, like it's where you want to be to really like scale your career in that sense, but because of like being Canadian, I can't legally audition without an O1, so I kind of just was like, okay, it's fine. I was like really upset about it, but then now I'm just like, I'm so fulfilled in like what I'm doing. And then with Instagram and with social media, so I've done different modeling work since I've been here, just coming from Instagram. So it's really cool how like social media is like a shift. Like being an actor, I guess like I have clients that are actors as well, and it's like the more influence they have, the better it looks when they go audition.
Right.
So it's like even though like Nick's auditioning a lot, he's already like at this level already. They're looking at you as like a more attractive candidate, regardless of his talent. Like it's already like his talent's there, but then he also has influence, so it's like a double win.
And once I continue to study, I'm in 2 classes right now and improve my craft. I know I'm going to blow all these actors out of the water.
Yo, he has so many plans. Literally, he was like telling me as we were setting up, I was like, damn, there's a lot of stuff going on. 2019.
2019, let's go.
Literally, it's so, oh my god, I'm so excited for next year.
Yeah, this is going to be the year for me, I know it.
Yeah, but I feel like I went off on a tangent.
No, it's all good, man.
But I'll just jump to like the part where it like relates to what I'm doing now.
Okay.
So like throughout competing, I was doing online fitness coaching with just through Instagram. I was getting a lot of like girls wanting coaching, and when I was in university, a lot of girls wanted like nutrition programs, workout programs, and I was like the go-to person for that. So it was great. I loved it. And then just fast forwarding from that, I started to get like people reaching out being like, how did you grow your business online through leveraging Instagram? How are you getting clients through just sharing your journey online? And then it started into the growth of my social media marketing agency, where now I just like work with health coaches, entrepreneurs, and just personal brands in general, and I help them scale on Instagram to build a thriving business.
That's very cool, very cool. So how long has that business, since you've been here in September, been in the works?
Oh, definitely since I've moved out here. It's like I tripled my income.
So I know you were training clients and stuff at the university, but that the social media business didn't really come into fruition until you moved out here, right?
Yeah, like I was consulting like one-off sessions in Toronto with just different people, different coaches, like giving a lot of free advice to like my friends who are in the fitness industry. Yeah. And then when I came out here, I had my business registered. It's Grow the Social, so that was like set before I came in the beginning of this year, so January.
So it's called
2018.
Grow the Social, right?
Yeah,
very
I'll
cool.
make a link. So it's an LLC now because I'm like in the process of like staying here. Yeah. So I guess since January of this year, so a full year. But when I came here, literally that's when it like 10x because of the opportunity, and everyone, LA is just like a different breed of people. Everyone's hungry. Yeah. That's why I love it, because everyone is so driven to succeed, and people will invest in themselves and do whatever it takes to really like make it. And that's why I think my business scaled so much, because there was such a need for it, and I love serving all my clients.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such, I can't even explain it. Like, if you guys are in LA, you know. If you're not in LA, you gotta come here, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Like, it's the energy's on another level.
Gary Vee put out that stat. I don't know if it was 1 in 7 people were entrepreneurs, but I feel like if you only put that study in LA, it'd probably be like 6 out of 7 people are entrepreneurs.
Literally, I go work every day at Intelligentsia on Abbott Kenny, and it's like literally, they call it the mecca of entrepreneurs. Like, there's like the mecca of bodybuilding, like Intelligentsia is the mecca of entrepreneurs, and like I'm friends with everyone there, and I've made so many good contacts, and just because the Wi-Fi is so solid there, we all go there, and like solid. It's crazy, like it's so good, and like everyone there, it's like, it's so fun. I mean, like, different people, everyone has their own business. Yeah. And we all work out of there, and it's cool. Just like a nice hub.
Yeah, I've gone there several times for, like, their turmeric. I used to say turmeric, but it's like turmeric, right?
Is it turmeric? I say turmeric.
Yeah, well, whatever, you know, it is what it is, but that tea is amazing, and I've always contemplated going there to do business, but I'm very efficient on 2 monitors, so just being on one, like, small, like,
depends
Mac
what I'm doing, like, work-wise. Yeah, if I was editing, I have to stay home.
Yeah, although editing, I only really use one, so why do you think you'd have to stay home?
I just feel like it's comfy and, like, warm, and then I can, like, look at my footage and, like, you know, even when I'm editing Instagram photos and I'm, like, pulling photos from my laptop, I feel like someone in a coffee shop would be like, this girl is so full of it, because I'm just like looking at my photos of myself on like a screen. But yeah, I do a lot of like my client emails out there and just different things like that on my coffee shops. But it's really good for networking. But I find in LA, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just new. I'm the Canadian who talks to everyone, but here not everyone is like that. Yeah. Like, people are more closed off. Yeah. I just feel like if you put yourself out there and you're like, you make the first move in a conversation, then people are very receptive, but people won't do that necessarily. But because I, like, with the coffee shop, for example, I'm there every day. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, the guy yesterday as I was leaving, he was like, oh, I see you every day. Like, what's your name? So, like, I feel like because you go every day, then you get the head nod or the smile. Yeah. It's like when you're in a gym and you go every day, and then now you're getting acknowledged. Yeah. Like, you get a nod. Mm-hmm. Like, you're accepted. Like, that's literally what it's like.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially at Golds, you know, like, there's some of those guys have been in there for decades now, and it's like a home for them. So.
And it's like such a tourist gym, so they probably get annoyed when there's just like people taking pictures
coming
outside
on
the
their
green
turf.
wall. Yeah.
So I want to ask you a few things about social media. Okay, so I think I have 2 questions for you, which I think our audience will love. As far as growing on social media and the changes that have been occurring on Instagram, I remember you saying you were growing faster in the beginning, and it's been a little slower lately.
Yeah, the algorithm hates us all.
Who hates us?
The algorithm.
The algorithm hates us all. So I guess people were blowing up too fast, and they're like trying to make it a little harder. I don't really know the reason. Do you know the reason?
I know it's just like a lot of people have done different like fake things to grow their influence, like buying followers, buying likes, buying comments, like all these things. So Instagram's really trying to hone in on that. Okay. So any accounts that even they can detect any bot at all, they'll shadow ban you. Mm-hmm. So they'll really hone in on that. They want people just like Facebook, because Facebook and Instagram is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, and like just like Facebook's a pay to play, where like you might find if you post on Facebook, your posts don't get seen, so like people don't really hang out on Facebook. But if you do ads, it's killer for your business.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So Instagram is like almost gonna be like that, I feel.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I noticed like I hate like it's tough to even feature a YouTube video on Facebook because they make a very small little thumbnail, and like you have to
even
click onto it.
Videos are favored less.
Yeah.
Still, like even if you post a video, like unless like there's different things you can do when you post.
Is that really? That's true.
It's favored less, yeah. So if you're just posting video, like naturally the platform won't. And then also Instagram.
I did not know that.
Has
I'm learning.
Also, Instagram has image recognition built into the platform. So, for example, in your post, if you're like, click the link in my bio to sign up for my coaching, or click the link in my bio to watch my YouTube video, or swipe up on your story, Instagram will naturally just like hide your post a little bit more because you're directing the user off the platform, and they want to keep the users on Instagram.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
This girl blowing my mind.
Like, you can, like, look into it, too. So now, like, what I tell all my clients is, like, when you're doing your leads, because I consult with a lot of coaches who sell programs, sell coaching, I'm like, keep them in the platform, and then direct them in DM. This is, like, key, guys. Just, like, take notes if you're a coach.
Take notes.
If you are, like, directing them to, like, buy into your service, don't do a swipe up to your website. Like, do that sometimes, but also, encourage DM, and then through the DM engagement, then send them the link.
Okay.
So it's like a hack of like, because they won't detect your DM and like. Yeah, because it's going right to the person. But yeah.
But then again, who's to say the algorithm doesn't monitor those DMs? Maybe in a little invasion of privacy, and be like, oh, she's sending people off of our platform.
Oh, another thing with that is that engagement pods. Apparently, Instagram is tracking. So a lot of people are in Instagram engagement pods on the platform. Mm-hmm. So if you're in one in your DMs and you guys are like, hey, I just posted, and then there's like 20 of you in it, they can track where all the comments are coming over time. So like say like Nick's in a Facebook pod with like an Instagram pod with 10 people, and every time Nick posts, right away these like 10 girls and guys go comment. They'll detect that each time, and then their comments hold less weight on ranking you higher. So that's why people they do Instagram engagement pods on like outside the platform. Mm-hmm. But even with Telegram, which people use to do engagement pods, they can track where it's coming from.
Gotcha.
They can track like the database.
Wow, because like you said, it would be like the same people from even though it's not on their platform, you're still getting the same 5 or 10 people posting, like not whether it's like within the first hour or not, like those same people are posting on every single post. You know what I mean?
And they can track like the likes too. That's how like Facebook's really tracking down on like when people buy likes and they get a surge of likes, they can track where it's coming from. So the likes don't really hold weight in ranking you higher on the algorithm. And even then on the algorithm to rank, it's more like saves and comments and quality comments too, 4 words or more.
Okay. Yeah.
So if like someone's commenting emojis, those don't help.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many more tips I could just drop right now.
The saves are interesting, you know. I built up a nice collection of saved content.
I feel like for people in the fitness niche, it's easy to save.
Yeah.
Like, because workouts, right? You want to refer back to them. Or just, like, I always tell all my clients, and, like, even on the platform, if you guys follow me, I, like to, Nick's called me out on it in the gym. I post a lot of my story, and I love to talk about Instagram in my story.
She's
and, like,
a very
tips.
positive girl. It's great information, and
if you guys want tips, daily tips, just hop onto my Instagram, and you'll get them.
Yeah, check her out. She's got a lot of, oh no, we lost some lighting.
Oh.
Did you see that go off?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll be right back, guys. We've never
It's so dark.
been in this room before. There we go. It's alright. That'll be a little funny spliff in there. But yeah, so check her out. I think Ayesha brings a lot of motivation and inspiration to her page, which a lot of girls on the gram don't. You know, there's a lot of just like boring, like, you know, booty accounts, and that gets very old very fast, ladies. We need more substance out here. More substance. Come on. There's someone behind that. The booty. There's someone behind there. Show some personality. You know, because that, you know, that booty, that pretty face of yours, that body is not going to last forever. You know, it's like modeling, you know, especially with guys. It's like, you're not going to be in your 20s forever just killing it. You know, you need more substance. You got to grow as an artist. And that goes with social media, whether you're an artist or not. You could be a tech guy. Like, you just need to bring substance and value to the table.
The inspirational rants are coming out.
Yeah.
Plug them.
I have a few motivational rants, and there's going to be a lot more of them to come. Check them out on my YouTube channel.
He's putting them all into playlists because that's going to help.
I'm learning YouTube. You know, I'm a little slow when it comes to YouTube, but this year, 2019, is going to be huge. And I just realized you have to put stuff into playlists, and I have now I have a humor, comedy playlist, motivational rants, podcasts, workouts, nutrition, and motivation. I think I said that already. But yeah, there's never enough motivation. So check that out because I'm super excited. YouTube, in my opinion, that's where it's at. And I've been doing Instagram for a while now, really going hard the last 3 years at times where I was posting every single day. I still kind of post every single day, but I spread it out between 6 accounts. And that's one thing that's...
You have 6 accounts?
Yeah, that's one thing that's that's one thing that's really helped my growth because I've kind of diversified myself into different niches because some of those things I didn't want on my main page, and yeah, it's helped me grow, and not only that, but now I'm also bringing in this platform of YouTube, which has been around for like 12 years now, but I love the fact that you can be really transparent. I'm a very humble guy, and I like to show my personality. I'm always real with you guys. I'm not going to be, bullshitting. So I think that's going to separate me from the pack because a lot of people, in this day and age, they, quite frankly, like, they don't got it. They just like I said, they just, booty or. It's
so crazy. This is like another, like, I moved out to LA, so I've like hit this realization. I was telling Nick, I met so many influencers because everyone's an influencer. Yeah. And it's crazy, like, I'll meet people who I've followed since the beginning of my fitness journey, and I've met them in person, and I'm like, oh, you're not who you are online. And then I just, like, there's been a lot of people I've met like that. And then there's also people who, like, I meet, and then I'm like, oh, you're even, like, more dope in person, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But another thing with the YouTube, which is really awesome, what Nick was saying, like, why it's so important, is that YouTube's owned by, like, Google. So whatever you search on Google, like, if it's a YouTube video, like, how to be happy in life, like, your YouTube video can come up because it's, like, the same search versus Instagram.
It's not going to come up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good, interesting.
I can't believe 6 accounts.
Yeah, so I'll name them.
Yeah, which
my
ones?
Main page.
I know Nick Stahl Official.
Nick Stahl Official is my main page. Then my backup page is I Am Nick Stahl.
Yeah, I know that.
That's more like, it's similar to my main page.
Unfiltered Nick Stahl.
Yeah, it's like model.
Unedited Nick Stahl.
No, it's. I mean, I edit all. I used to like edit all my photos on the Instagram app, and people were like, "How do you edit your photos?" I'm like, I'm just really good at editing on Instagram.
It's Tomorrow, or it's like the other apps.
Oh, I never heard of Tomorrow, but now
Tomorrow, it's a good filter.
You can get Lightroom and Photoshop for $9.99 a month, and I taught myself Lightroom. I've been using that for a few months now.
Do you buy presets?
I haven't, but that's another thing that can separate you because some people. You have really aesthetic pages that are pretty artsy, and I'd like to make a few presets for myself for like hiking shots or the gym shots.
It's
or
important,
like,
guys, branding.
Or like for the podcast, maybe like more of like a reddish, mics are red or yellow, like preset to go over top of that. So presets are key too. I'm still new to Lightroom. I don't think I'm skilled enough to make an awesome quality preset yet. Maybe within the next couple of months, like 2019, I'm telling you, I'm going hard. But I was actually dabbling in Photoshop a little last night because I want to learn Photoshop. And after I learn Photoshop, I'm going to learn Illustrator. So there's a lot to go into it. And once I learn Illustrator, that can really start cranking symbols and like logos and like get like my merch going. But yeah, there's just so much that goes on to it. So then my third account is Stahl Studio, which is my food page. My fourth account is Unstallable. That's my brand, my fitness brand. I have a blog with over 200 articles, sell online coaching, which I kind of honestly, I got out of the last year or so. I don't market it as much as I did when I was bodybuilding.
Yeah, I was going to ask
just because I've been so busy. I was thinking about putting out a post, and hey, if you hear this podcast and you're interested, I'm looking to pick up 1 to 2 online clients right now that I can work with weekly or bi-weekly phone calls, depending on what your goals are. So I can't take on that many just because I'm so busy. But I think 1 or 2 is a nice starting point to get back into it. And then my last account after Unstallable, well, I had 2 more accounts after that for a total. I have a meme page called Lifters High, hence the term Runners High. I go so hard in the gym, I get a high in there all the time. So I was like, you know what? Lifters High came to me one day, and I started this meme page.
When did you get the domain or like the name for that?
Lifters High?
Yeah.
I'd say probably a little over a year ago.
That's like a good name. You guys know it's like Instagram's almost like websites, like buying domains.
Right?
Someone could be like, can I buy that?
You want to know what's funny? When you search Lifters High now, there's another account. I think it's like, maybe there's an underscore or a period, but it's like lifted trucks.
What?
It's so funny with huge tires.
Oh my god!
I gotta meme them sometimes and shout them out. I think that's hysterical.
How many followers does that one have?
I think I'm up to 13K now. Yeah, it's growing really fast.
Wow.
It's one of my fastest growing accounts. And then my last page is probably the page I post on the least amount. It's called Team Never Stalling, because I was competing. Some of my friends were competing. I had this vision for a team, and I have a grouping of athletes, but we don't necessarily compete in bodybuilding. My buddy Teddy, well, he did a Muscle Beach bodybuilding show over the summer, so that's like maybe an outlier. But like we were all just super into fitness. My friend Julian, he's a trainer. He's got several clients. So we might not be competing on the regular, but it's just a team of like really hard work and motivational type people. And
it's so important.
That I like to feature because I really respect them and they're close friends of mine. You got the t-shirt today. I'll feature you on the page. Ayesha is now part of Team Never Stalling.
I love it. I think that's so important too with the team not competing, because you guys can, like, that was my thing about leaving the competition world. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna like lose my motivation to train? Like, no, if it's a part of your life, it'll still be a part of your life if you don't have a show, and like you can just compete for yourself. And get better in fitness for you.
Set goals. Like, that's one thing that I kind of disliked from not competing, which is one reason I did a Tough Mudder this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was because I like to have something that I was training for, short-term goals, like whether I was 6 months out, 3 months out.
Something you're accountable to. But that's the beauty about having a coach.
Yeah.
Because then you're accountable to them. Like, I'm putting down this like financial investment or like this accountability coach.
Yeah.
Nick, there you go.
Well, being on Team Never Stalling, I'm going to have to check in with you,
We gotta wear the shirt. We gotta have pride. You gotta earn that shirt.
Right. No time to stall. All right. So back to some social media stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, okay, as a Instagram guy is like going harder with YouTube now, what can I do on Instagram to land more brand deals? What are these brands? I mean, we know kind of what they're looking for, but how can I I would like, especially the content that I'm making. How can I improve to land more? How can I even approach these brands? Like there's media kits that are basically
I go all in on media kits.
Which is basically an influencer's version of resume. And one thing I'm gonna kind of switch up is reaching out and trying to lock in long-term contracts rather than like the one and done type deals.
That's key.
Because I was just thinking about it, and I was like, if I land more long-term contracts, right now I'm sponsored by Vital Proteins, but if I were to land multiple, like I landed like 5 brand deals in the last 2 weeks, but if I had locked in long-term contracts, these would compound and help me grow a more significant income with working with brands. So, and
like on top of that, it helps the brand and yourself, because then you're not that influencer who's just like a sellout. I'm not saying you're a sellout, but then there's some influencers you see that have like they partner with like this day's this day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's a different brand. And like I think from a brand's perspective, like I always tell my clients, if you're pitching a brand, like always go with the long-term route and like have a package for a long-term partnership, because that just shows that like as an influencer, you know the business end, like you know that your audience will really believe that you truly believe in this product. Like Vital Proteins, like I know like that's your like staple supplement because you're so consistent with promoting it, and it's a long-term deal versus like if Nick did like a random one-off post with
every single month,
It's like, okay, he doesn't actually like live and breathe and love this brand if like he did it once.
Vital Proteins is the best. They messaged me the other day and they asked me what I wanted for Christmas.
What?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
How cute is that? So that was sweet, man. That was really sweet of them. Shout out Vital Proteins again. Love you guys.
But yeah, brands love that. So like going to your question, like brands look for the influencer with an engaged audience who does that like a step beyond and like makes content that's not just like, that's obviously aesthetic, but then the content's actually meaningful and will resonate and your followers will engage with that content. Because they look at the engagement on another level. I was telling Nick that like they have databases that can just really like tune out the bullshit and like see, okay, like this much of their following is bots, this much is men, this much is female, this much is, but like to really intricate levels they can see, like beyond just your analytics. They have softwares they use that can just give them a deep dive on your audience quality and engagement quality as an influencer. So regardless of like the number, they'll look into the quality. So don't be like, oh, I don't have 1 million followers. Like they don't just look for that. In fact, like micro influencers, so 0 to 100K, are doing really well, and a lot of brands are choosing to opt for micro influencers because micro influencers have better engagement. Because think about it, like if there was someone with 3 million followers and they promoted Vital Proteins and I had a question about the protein, maybe I wouldn't DM them if I had a question about it, because I'm like, so they won't answer me, I'm going to hit in their requests, like they're not even going to see. But if someone had like 50,000 followers and was partnering with a brand, they would probably get back to you and give you their opinion.
So it's almost like you're paying for like better customer support in a sense.
Yeah. So they really look at like the know, like, and trust factor with you and your audience. Like, does your audience know you, like you, trust you, want to buy into your word? And they'll see that too, because usually brands give you a link or a discount code and they can track that too. Yeah,
that actually gave me a great idea, because my second account, I get sometimes over 1,000 likes. This is I Am Nick Stahl. I was thinking, as far as proposals to brands, I should also have a second proposal in there for micro influencer and highlight that account and some of the best posts from that one.
Yeah, 100%. And like know what your audience likes. So like I help other influencers, but I also have worked with brands, and I still work with brands that come inbound to me, and then I'll just work out deals with them. But they like to know what, you know, your audience best. So for example, this brand deal I just did this past month, they were really like, you choose, like, you know your audience best. Yeah. Like, we want you to be creative with the caption, right? Kind of, I like to write really long captions, and that's just like what I like to do now.
That was me in my first year. I was going so hard, posting like every day, long captions.
You gotta know what your audience likes, right?
Would you say they like the long captions?
It depends.
Yeah.
So like, you're like the girls who just post booty. Yeah. Maybe no one's reading their caption. Maybe they're just there for the photo. Yeah. But like with my journey moving out here to LA, I found that a lot of people who follow me had so many questions in DM about, like, how did you make the move, Ayesha? Like, what was it like? Were you scared? Did you come with how much? People ask me so many questions, like, how much did you have financially? Because from Canada to US, it's a jump financially with just even the exchange rate. And then also with, like, the lawyer and, like, the visas. Mm-hmm. So, like, my following is a lot of Canadians who want to make the same jump. So I kind of, like, talk a lot about my entrepreneurial journey, and that's been resonating and doing well. So it's kind of like, you know your audience best, and the brands, obviously, they want their post to do the best. So they will ask you for your opinion, and it's up to you to, like, really know what would do well. Like, for example, like, food for me, if I post food, does well. Mm-hmm. I think a food post could even do better than a workout. And I know that. So, like, when I tell, like, because I don't post as much food, but when I do, like, I remember when I posted food long time ago, like, me with, like, 2 pizzas, that post went, like, viral for me, like, a while ago. So, like, when a brand reaches out to me for food, I'm like, okay, I know my worth is, like, higher on those kinds of posts. Yeah. Because I know, like, being a girl in fitness and, like, well, I'm not even doing coaching anymore. People still, it's always about the food. Like, what do you eat? I don't know why. Yeah. But, like, you just know your audience more than, like, anyone else.
And I've been hearing a lot lately, like, people don't like to read. So I haven't invested the time, like, writing these captions. And that's one reason I'm transitioning to YouTube, because I
like to say messages that are long, too, like inspirational.
Everyone, you know, loves my voice, and I enjoy putting my voice out there. And I think I can get the message across way better, because someone's going to see a bunch of text and they're just going to write it off, when if they're hearing me out, they're going to stick. So that's one reason another reason I'm going for the whole YouTube route this year. What's up, man? We got a little guest up in here. But yeah, so I think it's all like know your audience, know your
and know your brand, like what you stand for as a brand. So don't do something that's like not authentic to your brand, and doesn't, like, it's not worth partnering with a brand that's kind of gonna destroy, like, your brand values or what you stand for. So, like, for example, Nick Stahl, he's a vegetarian, so he wouldn't really partner with, like, a beef jerky brand. And he wouldn't take the brand deal because it paid X amount of dollars. Regardless if all of his following knows he's vegetarian or not, like, it's not true to you as a person, as a personal brand.
And, like, I'll be honest, like, I've told my audience this before, but, like, I'm probably vegetarian 98% of the time, and I might have meat, like, once a month. Generally, if I'm out with friends and there's really nothing on the menu that's, like, intriguing, and Thanksgiving, I had turkey, you know? It's Thanksgiving, it's tradition, I had some turkey, but, I think it's okay to have, you know, once or twice a month, because...
You get, like, haters being like, no,
right?
It's not okay.
Yeah, I mean... I think there's more haters maybe in the vegan community. Nothing against you guys, man. I love vegan food. Sage Organics, awesome. I had these incredible pizzas there.
Not sponsored.
Buffalo cauliflower, right? If you can peep my food page, Stahl Studio, I just posted some of the buffalo cauliflower.
Plugs.
I love it. But I think vegetarian. It's awesome. I basically switched because I really didn't trust what was being put into the meat and the animals. Like,
people told me that here.
Yeah,
like with me buying meat, because I eat meat, and you're like, you should only buy, like, organic from a farm, because in the States it's different.
I mean, they don't have as strict of regulations. I remember being in Sweden, and, like, especially their, like, fish is, like, way more regulated and cleaner. But with the meat out here, I remember, like, Whole Foods, it's like you're going to go to Whole Foods and buy organic meat, but it's not actually organic. They got sued for slapping that organic label on. So now it's like, and then not only that, but I've seen these, like, fenced-in pens where the cattle is said to be raised, and it's grass-fed, and there was, like, a few patches of grass on the ground. The rest... You know, it's just dirt. So it's like, are these really grass-fed animals? Like, no. So I just, and not only that, but on the East Coast, I hunted a lot with my dad,
Yeah,
and I always had venison meat, which is like the highest quality meat you can put into your body.
Now you're like, what is this?
Yeah, so those are my main reasons for switching over, and yeah, like nothing against anyone who still eats meat.
An episode on this.
Just eat less of it. Just eat less of it. So.
It should be an episode.
Okay, so all right, let me go, since we're on the topic of food. That brings me to my final question.
And you're gonna do that?
I'm gonna have Ayesha back on another podcast because we have a lot to discuss. We've been running for about 40 minutes now, and I do have a training session coming up with my homie. She has a couple meetings.
LA traffic.
I'm gonna hit LA traffic, so we gotta wrap it up here.
You should
we'll be back.
Questions that you have.
Questions back.
How to monetize your Instagram. I don't know. We could talk like what you guys want to talk about.
Oh yeah, send questions, and then we'll discuss. That'd be great. So maybe another one more geared towards social media.
Like literally just straight value, whatever you guys want.
Okay, so the last question. Ayesha, what is your favorite cheat meal?
I love so much food.
Yeah.
I would say pizza.
Pizza
or sushi. Sushi's so good too.
Okay. I hear you there. Pizza's mine.
Pizza's so good.
Okay, well, what kind of pizza?
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say like pepperoni, but like you're vegetarian.
She's like, no,
I've been going to Butcher's Daughter, and they're a vegetarian vegan place.
Okay.
And I just get the margarita, and it's so good.
Oh, I love margarita pizza.
It's so good. Literally, like simple pizza is the best as long as it's just like it's made right.
I'm gonna have to try that.
It's actually amazing there because the dough is so fresh.
Yeah, but
and
like
everything oh my god, I really want pizza now.
They're mozzarella though. It's not like true mozzarella, so I'm curious. I gotta get in there.
They have vegan cheese too.
Well, it has to be. Isn't
they
it
have vegan
place?
and non-vegan.
Oh, so the margarita pizza, you have that option.
You can choose. So I got like non-vegan cheese, but then my friend, he got vegan, and it was so good too.
Yeah.
It was like just tastes as good.
Yeah.
I just love bread and carbs.
That's funny. I used to always eat toast with my eggs, and of recent, like the last 2 weeks, I've been doing them like slightly like over easy, so the yolk's harder, and I've been putting like a handful of spinach on top, and I put the coconut oil on top of the eggs with some cheese, and it's like it tastes great, and it's way healthy. Well, not way healthier, but I'm avoiding those carbs, the processed breads and stuff like that. So, and the wheat or the yeast and the gluten.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we jumped on. Like, it does a lot to your energy levels.
Yeah, and I have an intolerance to yeast, and 1 in 3 people do. So if that's something that you have as well, that could totally change the energy levels of your body, and like inflammation, whether that's like in your gut or your intestines, and wherever you may be experience inflammation. So keep that in mind. Maybe get an intolerance test and figure that out, because why live the next like 10, 20, 30 years consuming bread? Like, I mean, I was eating bread, and yeast is in so many things. So take that in consideration, because that could be a game changer for you.
100%. And like even just try eliminating things, because you don't know if you're always eating it, then you never know how you could be operating if you didn't have it in your diet, and you fill your diet with different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, good points.
All right. Ayesha, it was great having you on.
So great being on here. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And it was nice getting together. And I just wanted to say, we're signing out. And take care, guys.
See ya.
Peace.